The Japanese minister has lost his job after making a joke about rice. It's no laughing matter in a country where prices have been skyrocketing amid a cost of living crisis.
Japan's agriculture minister Taku Ito is out of a job after an ill-timed joke about never having to buy rice went down the wrong way.
Personally, I would like to apologise again for making an inappropriate comment as the minister in charge, while the Japanese people are struggling with rice prices.
Officials have blamed the situation on poor harvest due to hot weather and high fertiliser costs. The government has even tapped into its emergency rice stockpile, but that's done little to ease the pressure.
The rice price hike is really troublesome. Rice is something we eat every day. People can't do without rice, so food price hikes are the biggest headache. I haven't been able to eat rice every day over the past month, just twice or 3 times a week.
The saga could be bad news for Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, who is facing mounting criticism over the cost of living crisis in Japan. With an upper house election in July looming, he was quick to reassure voters that he's doing everything he can.
As a successor for Taku Ito, I have appointed Shinjiro Koizumi as the new agriculture minister. I instructed Mr. Koizumi to first tackle the prices of the rice so that consumers can provide rice at a stable price, and to consider releasing the stock rice making the most of the non-competitive contracts.
In April, Japan began importing rice from South Korea for the first time in a quarter of a century. And last week, the average price sold at supermarkets reached a record high. Rice has historically been a hot-button issue in Japan, with riots over soaring prices even toppling a government in 1918.
I will put rice before anything. I now consider myself a rice minister.
Japan's political establishment vowing to rice to the occasion. Amelia Costigan, ABC News.
Let's get more on this with Dr. Jeff Hall. He's a special lecturer in Japanese studies at Kanda University of International Studies, and he joins me now from Tokyo. Jeff, good to have you with us on the program once again. Now, that Farm Minister Taku Ito, he was joking about not having to buy rice. Can you explain the outrage that ultimately forced him to resign? There was political outrage. Was there public outrage?
Sure. I mean, I don't really think he was joking, to be honest. It is quite common to receive free rice from people in Japan if you have friends who are farmers. But in the case of somebody being an influential politician, the person in charge of supposedly fixing this rice price problem, to make a speech where you kind of brag about, or as he would say, joke about never having to pay for rice in his life, or at least in recent years, it's the worst possible thing to say at a time when rice is one of the main issues that most voters are feeling in their pocketbooks every single day.
Yeah, so let's extrapolate this a little bit further. What's happening in the industry at the moment that's leading to, severe shortages of the staple?
It started last summer, I would say, when the government gave a warning that there might be a large earthquake soon, and this caused quite a bit of people to rush to the stores to buy rice. And it's not like there was a massive crop failure or anything in the last year. Rice production has been pretty good. But nonetheless, even though stockpiles have been released, it continues to be high prices in the stores. And people are very frustrated by this. The government's new plan, which is to change the bidding system for the release of stockpiles, might have an impact, but it's too early to really see if it's actually going to go down to the price that the Prime Minister and Mr. Koizumi are saying it's going to go down to.
Yeah, so is this a consumer-driven crisis, I suppose? And to that point as well, does Japan have enough at the moment?
Well, it's partly consumer-driven. Part of it is also that in the post-war era, over time, Japanese have consumed less rice, and farmers have shrunk in numbers. And for a time, the government discouraged farmers from growing too much rice. And then when we get a spike in demand for rice, there wasn't an ability to keep up with it and keep prices stable. But there's also the added problem for farmers themselves. Right now, the price is good for them. But if it goes back down to the price that it was last year, they're not going to be very happy growing much rice after all. So the previous agriculture minister who just stepped down, he didn't want prices to go down too much. But the prime minister, I think, wants them to go to as close as last year as he can get them because this election is coming up in the summer.
Yes, and given it's such a staple there and the fact that Japan is also now having to import from other countries, is this being viewed as some sort of like a national embarrassment?
For the prime minister, it's a crisis for his government because he hasn't really delivered any big wins since he became the prime minister. He inherited a scandal-laden party. He lost seats in the last election and is now in a minority government. And he hasn't made progress on trade talks with America. And so all of these things combined together with the main food item that everybody notices the price of at supermarkets being so high, if he can't somehow get this down maybe 20, 25%, maybe something more than that before this summer's election, it's going to be a serious problem for him, especially now that he has committed to changing the agriculture minister, which is supposed to lead to new reforms to this plan. So if he had kept the agriculture minister in place, maybe he could have blamed that guy for it. But now he's made a critical decision. He's being decisive, and he has to deliver decisive results.
Yes, and national elections are coming up there, Jeff. So, how do you think the Prime Minister is going to campaign? I mean, will the ongoing cost of living issues be the front and center on the minds of voters?
This will be the front and center issue, I think. The opposition parties are running on various platforms that are saying that taxes should be reduced. And fiscally speaking, this is not a very wise idea for the Japanese government, which has so much debt. So Mr. Ishiba is hoping that he can maybe reduce rice prices. That'll give something where he doesn't have to promise cutting taxes. But if he gets no rice price reduction, these opposition parties are going to cut into him in the summer election as they promise tax relief as a way of making people not suffer so much economically.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as the election nears. Jeff Hall, thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me.